So we would like to move on to the next speaker because there is no questions. We would like to move on to the next presentation regarding the trail walk. And he will be also talking about the current situation of Fukushima. So Sasaki-san, please.
My name is Daiki Sasaki. I belong to graduate school of Tsukuba University, and I'm also a member of the Fukushima Dialogue. So as has just been presented with Jean-Marc and also Fukushima Hanakaido Trails, Nakajima-san and his people and participants, we walked a trail. So based on that, I would like to report on the current situation of Fukushima. So this is the trail we walked. We started with Tomioka Station, and we walked through the coastline, through the Sakura Tree Street of Yonomori, and our goal was Yonomori. I think it was like 6 kilometers that we walked. Next page, please. At 40 past 11, we started Tomioka. We left Tomioka Station. And if you turn to the next page, this trail walk, it is called the Fukushima Hamakaido Trail Walk. So from Iwaki to Shinchimachi, there's a route that is designated as a trail walking course, and that is managed by Nakajima-san's team, his team. So he and his team provided us with some explanation. So close to the station of Tomioka, you could see the Tomioka Winery that just opened this year in May. And Nakajima-san and other local people participated, and also Jean-Marc-san participated. It was such a wonderful trail work, which was very informative as well. Now, I would like to explain about the current status of the Fukushima's evacuation zones. So I'm mainly around the Nakadori of Fukushima, but this time we walked the Hamadori, and I often visit the Yamakiya district. So I didn't really know much about Hamadori. So since I am not fully versed in the situation in Hamadori, you may find that my explanation rather deficient, but I will do my best. So the 11th of March 2011, we had a magnitude 9, huge earthquake in Tohoku area, followed by a tsunami. We walked through the Tomioka town, where the maximum tsunami point reached 21 meters. So in the first part of trail, we quickly reached to the coastline, and there is a fishery community, the fishing port, and right next to the fishing port, this is the land clearance. Because of the tsunami damage, all the buildings were wiped out and there was nothing left. So we talked about that as we walked. In a Tomioka fishing port, there is a swing. I understand it is called the swing, which you can enjoy a splendid view. So we looked at the swing, and also if you go to the next slide, you could see some remains of the boat. I understand this is the boat that was drifted ashore at this place from Onahama because of the tsunami. I think, we just saw a beautiful, lovely swing, and then very close by, we saw the wreckage of a boat, and that was quite contrasting. Jean-Marc has just explained about the measurements. So we were carrying the detectors of open radiation as we walked the trail. This shows the period between 2011 to 2021, and then this shows the trend of the radiation level. Currently, the radiation level is 19 microsievert per hour due to the thanks to the decontamination and due to the time lapse, time passed. Today, there are hardly any red areas remaining. So the evacuation order was issued in 2011 following the accident, and 2012, 2013 reorganization of evacuation zones took place. Tomioka town are included under the zone preparing for the lifting of evacuation orders in restricted residence zone, and also it also included difficult to return zones. And the zoning is depends on the radiation level. So that's back in 2012. And then in 2014 April, there are three criteria set to lift the evacuation orders, and such as 20 milsievert and below, and infrastructure, and also consultation with stakeholders. So those are the three requirements to lift, which need to be met before lifting any evacuation orders. So 2013 through to 2017, some evacuation orders were lifted. As for the Tomioka town, the zone preparing for the lifting of evacuation orders and restricted resident zone. So those orders related to those zones were lifted in 2017. And around 2020, with regard to the difficult to return zones, we started to see some changes. The central area of the town or some other important areas were designated as a specified reconstruction and revitalization base or zone. Even though it is located within the difficult to return zone, that specified zones allowed the residents to return, and some additional efforts were made to facilitate the repatriation. And then June 2013, space, the specified reconstruction residential area were designated. And then also the criteria of lifting the orders remain, that the 20 milsievert per 20 centimeter air dose per annum or below, and also there must be good infrastructure provided, and also the consultation with local residents. Those three requirements remained. And before, or close to the forest or the trees, what we noticed was that it, it's 20 meters from the road. The area within the 20 meters away are fully decontaminated. However, the forest and such area still the radiation level remains high.
So maybe it's difficult to see, but it's a 0.4 microsieverts. If you can zoom, you can see. And next slide, please. Let's skip this, please. Okay, so it's not that we have lost everything. This is the museum, Tomioka Museum, that is built by the Tomioka town. So this is called Tomioka Archive Museum, and it displays the history of the town and also the heritage of the disaster due to the earthquake. So we were able to find something new in the trail walk. And it is not spring, so we were not able to see the cherry blossoms. But on the right-hand side bottom, you can see how it looks like during springtime. And next slide, please. This is around Yonomori Eki Station. So this is a goal. And 2 years ago, I went to Yonomori Station. And at that time, you can see the picture on the left-hand side and the buildings. We were not able to go in, but it was there still. But now, when I visited, it was dismantled and was clean. So this was quite expressive for me because the buildings where there's nobody living or is not being used, even if you still have the buildings, you can sort of feel how the life was in the past. But if there is no buildings, it's very difficult to sort of imagine how it was like. So next slide, please. So I don't have much time, so I would like to just briefly go over this. But these are the people and the who's participated and comments from the people as well. So last year, there were hikers who have participated in this hiking as well. And compared with Soma City or the northern part of the prefecture, it's totally different. So he said that it was quite impressive, but it looks so different, the area around the nuclear power plant. So it was very well opportunity for him because he was able to hear from the local residents. And it is nice that they are walking because the speed of walking is different from like running or riding on a bicycle because he was able to see the life and the history of the town. And this is the results of the measurement of the open radiation. And Mark have already mentioned about this in detail, so I'd like to skip this part as well. And this is Okuma town. And around Okuma station, we are still having a zone. And there are some areas where the lifting of the evacuation order is not progressing as well. And this is an interim storage facility, and you can see that here. So around this area, Kimura-san, I think, is maybe living around here. And maybe Himura-san would like to mention this maybe later. And this is my last slide. So we are the Fukushima Dialogue. We are the NPO organization, and we have are always accepting applications to become new members. Regular members, supporting members, and frequent liaison members. So thank you very much for your attention. So Nozaki-san, thank you very much. Sasaki-san, thank you very much. And there is a question from Misaki-san from Fukushima, and he thank you very much for your detailed explanation about the trail walk and the lifting over the evacuation order. And together with the presentation of Jean-Marc, I would like to ask a question. So when you have a detector with you and you walk around the town, what did you feel? And did you had some occasions to talk with the resident there? What was the response and what was the impression you received? So that was the question. So my honest question is that when you have this type of detectors, as of 2025, I think actually people tend to look for the areas which have higher scores. So it's not that they're feeling it's dangerous, but they are they're curious and they want to see how it looks like. But there are some residents who are participating as well. So I was a little bit, actually, they were wondering whether it was okay for them to be excited about such things when you have the local resident around you. So let me just follow up on what he has mentioned. When you have the detectors, the people actually want to look for areas which have high scores, well, because it's just like treasure hunting, and it's not something that is related to whether there is a damage caused or not. And I think immediately after the nuclear power plant accident, people were like this. So people had detectors and they were measuring the radioactivity, and they were feeling that they were worried but then they find some areas which has high score, and then they sort of become happy because they found that area. So there's this sort of psychological aspect of human being. So people tend to look for such things, although they're suffering as well from the accident. So I think that kind of mentality is there for the residents in the affected area as well. So